Hey everyone, welcome back to the C# and WinForms 2026 series. Today we are creating a simple score tool app where we store player names in an array. We store scores in a list. We control everything using methods. First we create a very simple UI. We only create these buttons. btn, add, score. btn, show, score. btn, score, count. btn, set, player. btn, show, player. That's it. No text box required. Now imagine something very important. Right now, most beginners put everything inside button clicks. They add scores, they calculate values, they manage data. All inside the UI. But in real applications, that is not how professional code works. So in this video, we are going to completely change that mindset. We are building a simple score tool in WinForms. But the goal is not the tool itself. The goal is clean architecture. We start by creating our data storage. We use a list of integers called scores. A list is dynamic, which means it can grow while the program is running. Then we create a string array called players. This array holds a fixed number of player names. Now here is the important part. We do not write logic inside buttons. Instead, we create methods. The first method is add, score. It takes a parameter called score and adds it into the list. Then we create a method called get, score. This method returns a score based on an index. We also create get, score, count. This simply returns how many scores are currently stored. Next we move to the player system. We create set, player. This method takes an index and a name and stores it inside the array. Then we create get, player. This returns the name from the array. Now comes the most important improvement. Our buttons become extremely simple. For example, the add score button only calls add score with the value 10. The show score button only calls get score and displays the result. The same pattern applies everywhere. The button does not think. The button does not calculate. The button only triggers a method. And this is the key idea you need to understand. If your UI contains logic, your project is already getting messy. But if your logic is inside methods, your code becomes reusable, scalable, and clean. That is exactly how real applications are structured. And now you have your first clean WinForms architecture using collections and methods. Now let's actually understand what is happening inside this system. Because this image shows the foundation of how real applications work. And honestly, most beginner tutorials never explain this properly. They throw random code into buttons. And suddenly the whole project becomes spaghetti code. But here, we are building structure. Real structure. At the top, you can see our two data systems. On the left side, list int scores. And on the right side, string, players. Both store multiple values. But they work differently. A list is dynamic. That means it grows while the program is running. You add more data. And the list automatically becomes bigger. That's why lists are used everywhere. Game inventories. Chat systems. Shopping carts. Databases. Even social media comments work similarly. Now arrays are different. Arrays have a fixed size. Here we created exactly 3 player slots. Alex. Bob. Charlie. Arrays are very fast and memory efficient. That's why they are often used in games, graphics systems, and performance-heavy applications. So choosing the correct collection type actually matters. Now let's move to the methods. This is where clean code really starts. First we have add, score. This method takes a parameter called score. Think of a parameter like data you send into the method. The method receives the value and adds it into the list. Simple, but powerful. Because now every button in every future system can reuse the same method. That is reusable code. Next we have get, score. This method returns data back to us. So instead of sending data in, we are getting data out. And that is the difference between parameters and return values. Almost every real application works like this internally. Apps constantly request data and receive results back. Then we have get, score, count. This simply returns how many scores exist inside the list. And finally we have set player and get, player. One stores data into the array. The other returns data back out. And now our whole application becomes clean, organized, and reusable. But here is the most important lesson. Notice how the buttons barely do anything? That is good. Professional buttons should only trigger actions. The real work belongs inside methods. Because if all your logic sits inside button clicks, your project becomes messy very quickly. So remember this structure. Data. Methods. Clean UI. That combination is the heart of modern software design. And now, you officially started thinking more like a real developer instead of someone just dragging buttons into Visual Studio. If this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next part of the series. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.